Story 1. Anything that uses a baby or the baby voice. Right now, Liberty Insurance makes me want to stab something. Story 2. With so many holiday homes on Booking.com, there are so many Tina Feys I could be, so I hired body doubles. Dear Lord, that advertisement has been played so many times on YouTube for the past year or so. I'm so sick of it. Story 3. The Capital One advertisements, especially the one with Jennifer Garner portraying a farmer, where she says, "I can get used to this," in reference to the airport lounge, are quite noticeable. She is wealthy. She has been in those lounges since the 1990s. Story 4. I have decided that I would rather throw my car into a lake or bring it to a farm to be a shooting car rather than give it to Cars for Kids. Giving it to a choosing beggar for $1 would be better. Story 5. The Charmin Bears. Charmin, I am tired of those stupid, ass-obsessed bears. I do not let toilet paper control my life. Their entire world revolves around toilet paper. I understand that they are in a commercial, but ass inspection? Really? That is a little too far. They pause football games to inspect asses. One commercial has them ready to change vacation plans over toilet paper. And speaking of traveling bears, one commercial features a Transportation Security Administration bear inspecting another's rear end before boarding a plane, even going so far as to commend the bear on packing Charmin, saying, "You are cleaner than I thought," says the agent. Ass inspection in the Charmin bear universe is so commonplace that it is enforced as a security measure. Here, a bear is chasing a cub around with a dustpan to collect used toilet paper stuck to the cub's rear end. The narrator says, "You will never pass inspection with pieces left behind." Is Charmin trying to push an ass inspection agenda? I hope to never have to endure a toilet paper inspection, let alone be subjected to it every time I use the restroom. Here, a cub is literally doing gymnastics to make sure he does not fail his ass inspection, but to no avail. These bears are relentless. They will scrutinize each other's rear ends at any given opportunity. Even in print, they resort to using a vacuum cleaner to clean other bears' rears. Look at this commercial. A mother and cub looking at the moon. In any sane family, that would be the satellite that orbits the Earth. Unfortunately, this is Charmin Bear World, where it not only means the cosmic body, but the body of their fellow bear. They are literally using a telescope to inspect the rear end of another bear sitting in a tree. These bears are incredibly self-centered, too. All they care about is toilet paper. In this commercial, the cub drains an entire lake so he would not have to fish. Of course, he uses the toilet paper in the tackle box because these bears do not go anywhere without a roll of toilet paper. It does not even make sense. Is Charmin advocating destroying an entire lake to catch all the fish? It seems a little misguided. This commercial features a bunch of cubs saying that Charmin is so good. You could wear your underwear a second day. Mind you, all these cubs are naked. The commercial ends with one cub saying to another, "You should try it, Skids." Do these bears really make up nicknames based on the cleanliness of each other's rear ends? What kind of world is it where naked bears make fun of each other for rear appearance? Especially the one where one bear says, "What a great view," and the other sticks his bare rear end in her face and says, "Thanks to Charmin." It is weird. Forget those bears. I will never buy Charmin as long as those bears are waving their rears at me. Story 6. Any advertisement with slurping, pouring liquid over ice, and that sound after drinking it, or anything with chewing or eating sounds, is uncomfortable for me. Even nails clacking on plastic or cardboard packaging, such as ASMR sounds, feel like nails on a chalkboard for me, and I don't have other auditory sensitivities or issues. Story 7. BetterHelp. They pop up in about 70% of the YouTube videos I watch, if not more. They are a notoriously bad employer for therapists. They pay abysmally low wages. Story 8. I'm sick of those Chick-fil-A commercials where they pay people to talk about their food like it's some gourmet meal. Story 9. Ages ago, I gave up watching television for a few years because of Burger King. I stopped using Hulu a few times because of their latest jingle. Story 10. I cannot take the Burger King commercials with the man singing anymore. They air multiple times a day, every day, non-stop. It is very frustrating. Story 11. The woman is sticking her armpits and other body parts in front of the camera. She annoys me greatly. Story 12. All of the Jardiance commercials. I cannot begin to tell you all the ways America would be better without direct-to-consumer marketing of pharmaceuticals. Not least of them would be never having to hear that song again. Story 13. Anything that uses humor based on making fun of others is frustrating. I'm getting really tired of Wayfair advertisements for some reason. I'm surprised Liberty hasn't lost customers over those annoying advertisements. Just about every advertisement on YouTube has reached a point where I'm considering paying for premium because they are all so disappointing. Story 14. There is an advertisement for a movie featuring a child who is such a fan of cowboy movies that his head is shaped like he is wearing a cowboy hat beneath his skin. Not only do I refuse to use the streaming service that hosts the movie, but I also refuse to use the blog platform until the advertisement is removed. Story 15. The not a lot of yada commercials. I don't even remember the company, but repeated sounds make me irate. Story 16. Any of those YouTube advertisements where influencers rave about how the product has been life-changing. To me, influencers often sound insincere in their sponsored content, but the recorded advertisements are even worse. Story 17. The Discover card commercials with the blonde lady make me want to throw a brick through my television. I will never understand how they thought that was an effective advertising strategy. Story 18. The He Gets Us advertisements are all over Reddit. Their smarmy, disingenuous, and cringeworthy ads make me dislike religion even more. People should go and help children who are suffering from atrocities. By help, I mean answer their parents' desperate prayers, not sweep them up for your strange plan and leave generational suffering behind. Story 19. That woman who sells deodorant just seems like a snake oil salesperson. I'm not saying that her products are bad, just her energy seems like it. Also, it's weird how she thinks women are the only ones who get criticized for smelling bad. Story 20. eBay and Amazon have been competing for the bottom tier for me lately, especially that one Amazon commercial that starts with a baby crying. Two things you don't put in a television commercial are babies crying and alarm clocks. Story 21. It changes. Currently, it's the Poshmark commercial with the mother and daughter. The daughter, with a smug face, says, "I told you listing on Poshmark was quick and easy." The mom responds, "I just sold my black tote and my slip dress. Let's go get manicures and pedicures." The daughter replies, "Oh, ow, thanks, Mom." I swear, before I finished the second sentence above, that commercial came on. It's crazy. Story 22. Any commercial with toddler voices overdubbed on video of adults speaking, and the other way around as well. Story 23. Anything with Kevin Hart and Jake from State Farm. I can't watch the National Basketball Association or the National Football League without their commercials. Story 24. That him or her Super Bowl commercial showed big bellies as disgusting by zooming in on them, then switching to an overweight person holding a pill for weight loss. The messaging was very clear. You're fat and disgusting, so pay us to fix that. Spoiler. It probably doesn't work or is dangerous. Only lifestyle change will work long-term. Story 25. All those new foamed feminine product advertisements. The ones that say up to 100% effective. That is not a helpful number. 0% effective is also technically up to 100% effective. I get these advertisements all the time on Pandora. Also, I am a man. I am outraged on behalf of anyone who actually needs these products. Story 26. T-Mobile. First off, they are too excited and cheerful in them. Second, there is one that always plays twice in a row every time I hear it. Story 27. HelloFresh is very expensive, and they do not have any deals except for spending a certain amount and getting free meals for new subscribers. I was tempted to sign up before realizing their introductory advertisement required you to first purchase more meals than you would receive for free. Story 28. They must think their Tina Fey joke keeps landing on Alzheimer's patients when watching YouTube. I can't get to the skip button quick enough. Story 29. Anything that starts with my moderate to severe. Although to answer the question, luckily I do not need to use any of those products yet. Story 30, Cars for Kids. That advertisement makes me change the station or mute my speakers immediately. I had no idea who they supported until I just looked it up now. I did not support them financially before knowing, and I certainly will not after either. I disagree with that approach and strongly oppose them for making that horrible advertisement. It is a fine cause, but a poor way to advertise and ask for support. Story 31. There is a radio commercial about two guys talking about their weekend, and each is trying to one-up each other about where they took their Toyota truck. I took my Tacoma up a mountain. Well, I took my Tundra down a river, but each time they have to say the name of the truck. I understand what the advertisement is going for, but I cringe every time I hear it. Imagine if I went around saying, "Yeah, let me just text you from my iPhone. I dislike trucks anyway, so maybe some bias is coming into play, but I cannot stand that level of smugness." Story 32. You are not a child. You are a man. So stop wearing so many layers to go outside. I disagree with you and your hoodie. Story 33. Every Liberty Mutual advertisement hardly tells you anything useful to know about their product. They just come up with another annoying way to deliver the phrase, customize and save. I saw it today and am adding Tubi for its disgusting kid with a fleshy cowboy-shaped hat head. Story 34. I agree with many of the already posted choices. I would like to add the Daisy sour cream commercial and the ridiculous dollop of Daisy song. Story 35. Anything that pops up in my YouTube. It's insane to me how Google will allow literal scams and borderline adult content to be shown through AdSense, but will demonetize anyone who says or shows anything that isn't family-friendly. I mean, my favorite YouTuber can't say a curse word, but I get ads for condoms and literal sex toys 1 minute after the other. Story 36. For me, it was that sweet little kid whispering "zoom zoom" in those Mazda advertisements a while back. I disliked that child. Story 37. Bibberty is not funny, and the person who keeps featuring that guy, who also thinks it is funny in the commercials, should be stopped. Story 38. That Apple commercial from several years ago features a young girl using her iPad for various activities, including messaging, watching videos, and sketching. She is essentially just exploring and having fun all over town. When she gets home, she plops down in the backyard and continues tapping away at her screen. A neighbor comes out and asks, "What are you doing on your computer?" The girl responds, "What's a computer? I have not purchased an Apple product since that time. I have shown this commercial to dozens of people, and they all agree that it is awful, or they seem concerned that I might be a psychopath due to how much I dislike this commercial, along with the product it promotes." Story 39. The entire native line. Liberty Mutual makes me want emu burgers. And those advertisements for tampons with Amy Schumer. Just know, we voted her off the culture. Please take your parting gifts and leave. How she became the slightly less annoying Schumer, I will never know. Story 40. Okay, it has been a while since they aired, but as an Irish descendant, it is definitely Irish Spring. We all disliked that one. Story 41. Besides a blanket, any and all advertisements, and especially all of the podcast and YouTube advertisers like BetterHelp and Magic Spoon, I would say rake in earbuds. Not only are they low quality and overpriced, Ray J is the reason the Kardashians are what they are, so I will not support that. Story 42. Every advertisement that calls deodorant, deodorant. Every fast food advertisement that has a voiceover trying to sing and failing. Every fast food commercial that tries to shorten the name of something to be cute, like nuggets instead of chicken nuggets. Story 43. All advertisements now follow this psychology-based set of guidelines, and it makes every advertisement feel insincere and unpleasant. Bring back advertisements with silly jingles. Story 44. In Canada, there is an advertisement for a jewelry store called Spence, and the man does a loud and high-pitched WO at the end. It hits a weird note that hurts your ears. Story 45. As a policyholder with Geico, every commercial I see reminds me that my monthly premiums go into their cringeworthy advertisements. Story 46. 20 or so years ago, when those horrible Charmin Bear commercials started, I comforted myself that at least they would disappear soon, since sales of Charmin would surely plummet. Cannot believe how wrong I was. I hate people. I hate everything. Most of all, I hate those bears. Story 47. Oh my gosh. The Downy Unstoppables commercial where they shake their shoulders so stupidly. I will never buy a product from them. Story 48. Upon careful reflection, I have come up with Manscaped promotions in YouTube videos. Like, you are a great YouTuber and I love your channel, but I really do not want to hear the euphemisms that you are using to talk about how smooth your manly parts are, or about how the special underwear that comes with it as a promotional item keeps everything nice and cool. Story 49. All of them, but especially advertisements for new medications. Everyone is always smiling, riding bikes, and picking roses, while the advertisement will be for conditions like anal warts or HIV treatment. Story 50. 90% of pharmaceutical advertisements. I had a condition, then I started taking Fucatol. Now it is not so bad. Here are 20 seconds of reasons not to be on Fucatol, played over footage of me and my family being happy. Story 51. Anything flow from Progressive. I feel like they try so hard to make her work as their spokesperson. Story 52. That Coffee Mate Super Bowl commercial caught my attention. I understand that the dancing tongue was meant to add humor and attract their target audience, avid coffee drinkers, but it is quite unusual. It reminds me of those early 2000s television commercials that I used to watch as a child. Story 53. Any of them that play their advertisement too often. If I am watching videos on YouTube and the same advertisement comes up multiple times in 1 hour, that product is now blacklisted. Story 54. L'Oreal, "You're worth it," has been their slogan in recent commercials, and it feels so fake and disingenuous. Story 55. Any advertisement that plays so often on a site that it becomes excessive. Right now, I am binge-watching Doom Patrol and I am 100% certain I will not be watching The Penguin or drinking Tanqueray gin. Story 56. There was an advertisement on Twitch for my local transit system. It began by showing someone sitting in a car and them saying, "I think I'm going to be carsick." Then, a car salesman showcased a vehicle, and the customer reacted the same way. There were about 4 other instances of people expressing that they were carsick and vomiting, without the car being in motion, just showing the vehicle. After it aired twice during one commercial break, I subscribed to Twitch Turbo and never looked back, because I almost felt nauseous just listening to 25 seconds of people throwing up. I appreciate the public transit system, but I don't think I've been willing to use it again because of that one terrible campaign. Story 57. Lemu Emu and Doug Ugg. Liberty, 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 annoying. Burger King awful singing commercials. At Burger King, have it your way. Hate it. Story 58. As a non-American from a country where commercials for medicine are illegal, I think the United States drug commercials are hilarious. A bunch of overweight people dancing and singing. I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well, while the voiceover lists the most gruesome side effects of what they are trying to sell. Top comedy. Story 59. The Sephora advertisement I see right here on Reddit, where the camera shakes all over and makes me feel seasick. I cannot figure out how to remove that from my feed. I haven't set foot in a Sephora store in a decade. I don't wear makeup anymore. Story 60. I do not buy Charmin because their commercials are extremely strange. It was enough to make me completely swear off. Story 61. Honestly, all of them, but especially insurance companies. The only way they pay for those advertisements and sponsor things is through your premiums. Story 62. Every Liberty Mutual commercial from the past several years. If I ever have to switch insurance companies, I won't even look at Liberty Mutual. Story 63. Every single one of those Burger King commercials. I cannot stand that tune or that man's voice. A recent one where he sings, "Burger King melts," made me want to stab my eardrums out. Story 64. It's pretty much any commercial nowadays. I use streaming services, and it is the same advertisements over and over again for 6 months. I don't mind advertisements, but switching it up would be nice. Story 65. The ridiculously horrible Burger King commercials. I mean, really, what were they thinking? I haven't eaten at Burger King in forever anyway, and this is reinforcement for not going back. Story 66. Medicare Advantage advertisements often say, "You might not be getting all the benefits you deserve. These plans also offer extra help." I literally know older individuals who think everyone qualifies for food assistance from their health plan. They do not understand that one must be low income and qualify for Medicare and Medicaid to receive that assistance. They also do not realize that traditional Medicare and Medicare Advantage are very different programs, and they need to determine which one is right for them. They should not just listen to a celebrity or some other paid spokesperson telling them they are missing out on benefits. Additionally, let us consider life insurance and reverse mortgage advertisements. If you pass away and need $10,000 to pay for a funeral, perhaps you do not truly need a funeral, or you should have saved something during your lifetime. Reverse mortgages can be controversial, but for some people, they might represent an option. A monthly fee of $9.99 for life insurance is a total ripoff. Story 67. Any and all of those Charmin commercials. I do not want to hear a bear talk about toilet paper getting stuck to their rear. Story 68. ZocDoc for widely encouraging discriminatory practices in picking a doctor. I am surprised every time they do not have one saying, "This doctor is too black," because they do everything else. Double ZocDoc for using telehealth in situations where someone clearly needs to go to the emergency room. Got a skin rash taking over your arm in 20 seconds. Go to the emergency room. Story 69. That annoying Nicole Kidman commercial at the movies. I dislike it. I refuse to watch anything new with her now. All that commercial does is frustrate me. Story 70. J.G. Wentworth. I need cash now. I have a structured settlement and I need cash now. Story 71. All of them. Ad blockers on personal computers, households without television, no longer being faced with content aimed at the lowest common denominator. This is great. Story 72. For some reason, that Bigelow tea commercial that runs every night during Jeopardy makes me want to flip tables. Maybe it's because it takes it too seriously. When I'm drinking Bigelow tea, it's a moment just for me. That's what a cup of tea is. A moment for you with someone you love. People, it's just tea. Story 73. Square One Insurance. They have a commercial that says, "Hey Google, call Square One." And it triggers my Google Home every single time. Story 74. Top Dog Law. I am in Metro Atlanta, and our radio stations are inundated with his terrible commercials. Story 75. I refuse to watch even a single episode of Tracker or Ghosts. This is purely because I pay for ad-free Paramount Plus yet still get advertisements for them before almost every show I watch. Story 76. YouTube is constantly showing me ads for business software, and every single one talks about artificial intelligence, which I despise. They might as well tell me their software will steal from other people, then regurgitate content while also harming the planet and depleting water resources. Story 77. That frustrating Jim Beam commercial where everyone in the bar is singing Sweet Caroline makes me want to cut my ears off. Story 78. The Burger King advertisements featuring the man who cannot sing are constantly on during football games, and I cannot mute them fast enough. Story 79. Those Carl's Jr. sexy ads. They actively made me hate that place, and I was so happy that they decided to stop them, or I would be if they hadn't made an inglorious return. Misogynistic as hell. Story 80. Burger King commercial. They sing off key and act. I just hate it. Plus, I think every item I have ever tasted from Burger King tastes like smoke. Like smoked food. Story 81. Anything that interrupts my YouTube video watching goes on my blacklist. Since most of those are frustrating mobile gacha games and I don't even play mobile games in the first place, it's pretty easy to avoid them. Story 82. Liberty Mutual Baby, Bloom Super Greens, Belly Welly, Most Skincare, and last but not least, Duet, the dating application. Story 83. I love pot noodles, but I had to turn over the channel or mute the advertisement due to the long slurping sounds. People must have complained because they made the slurping silent. I was really relieved. Story 84. That Roku television commercial with the couple that is screaming throughout the spot until the very end is so annoying to me that I would rather hug a rattlesnake while rolling around on a cactus than buy one of the televisions. Story 85. PG&E ad where the vice president comes out and conducts a fake interview where they make a bunch of excuses about how they are actually a good company. Story 86. I actually did boycott a local car stereo store because of their ads. I do not know if they still exist, but Outrageous Audio is or was the name of the place. I deliberately went to their competitor to purchase my stereo system for my first car because of those ads and that person in those ads. Story 87. The Burger King commercials of the last 2 to 3 years featuring the man singing the poorly written jingle are quite bothersome. Although I did not visit Burger King frequently before, those commercials are like nails on a chalkboard, so I definitely will not go now. Story 88. Anyone who listens to the radio near Vancouver, British Columbia, has heard these weird, annoying advertisements from a diamond store. Everyone dislikes them. I am not sure if they play the same ones across Canada. Story 89. The Wish website advertisement on television and streaming. That woman straight up yelled, $3.99, at a volume louder than any program it interrupted. Instantly turned me away from even considering that site. Story 90. Burger King tone-deaf singer commercials. I actually have stopped going to Burger King primarily because of them. Story 91. Any of those singing drug commercials, but at the top of the list are those Burger King commercials. Those have to stop. Story 92. Honestly, most commercials today annoy me, but drug commercials more than anything. Half the time, they don't even tell you what the drug is for. It's just, ask your doctor if this is right for you. Doc, is this right for me? Well, you don't seem to have genital herpes, so probably not. But hey, I get a kickback, so let me write you a prescription. Story 93. Birth control with no hormones advertisement. It is so fake and over the top. I do not see how it can promote what they are selling. The same goes for many of the pharmaceutical commercials. Given the prices here in the United States, there is no way people are putting on colorful outfits and dancing with joy on the way to the pharmacy. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.